मेरे पास कोई अल्फाज नहीं है, मुझे माफ कर दे आप लोग सारे, मुझे छुट्टी दे दें।
And you wonder why I have started covering popular Indian TV shows on the channel. It's 2021 and such absurd and god-awful logic is fed in our Indian living rooms and we accept it as carefree entertainment. I had shared this video and a regular viewer of the show, basically her mom watches the show and she feels compelled to watch it sporadically, said कि ये लड़का फिसलते ही रहता है इस show में. What a weird quirk to have from a writing standpoint. Anyway, I apologize due to the madness of last month. I could not fit in a MATLAB KUCH bhi episode, but hey, we're here and it's a really good one. I've sat through some unbearable storylines and dialogues passed off as comedy just for this episode. I think there's going to be a cringe overdose this month, as you already got a glimpse of what next Indian TV show I'm going to cover. That one is going to be insane. For whosoever is new here, MATLAB KUCH bhi episodes on the channel focus on some of the most illogical, absurd and socially problematic Indian movie sequences that were simply passed off as either the norm or in a comedic light. We understand what was considered to be acceptable many years ago to the social themes of today is substantially different, but some things are just downright unacceptable and should be called out and criticized. So without further ado, here is Tried&Refused Productions with 5 shocking Indian movie scenes that will leave you speechless. Janam Say Pehle. This is a movie that I got to know about through a suggestion by a subscriber that shared a Facebook page by the name Subtle Curry Crappy Entertainment. A film titled Janam Say Pehle that takes logic and throws it in a hot dumpster fire. If somebody took notes of how the movie deals with both the judiciary and sensitive topics of trauma and mental health, it will just provide more evidence that the creators are graduates from WhatsApp University. Raj Babbar is basically a serial killer who carries out his ghastly acts on full moon days. He admits to carrying out 3 murders, but the location of the bodies is still a mystery. The police, despite the admission, can't charge him because there is no evidence linking the murders to Babbar. When a defense lawyer is appointed for Babbar, she is told that he has to commit 1 more murder. Seeking permission, like it's asking for coffee, urges the judge that he should give permission to her to go on a date with Babbar on a full moon night so that she can witness the murder being committed. Because this is early 90s Bollywood, of course he allows such an absurd request.
आपको मेरी ये रिक्वेस्ट माननी होगी।
लेकिन गीता, मैं इस तरह के डायरेक्ट ऑर्डर पुलिस को नहीं दे सकता।
इनडायरेक्ट ऑर्डर तो दे सकते हैं ना सर।
Being annoyed of disco music, he breaks a cassette player. Upon further asking a doctor, he states that Babbar has visions of men that torment him while listening to disco music. The same effect that you might have listening to the current singles of Badshah and Kakkad.
तुम्हारा ये दिमाग जिसने नेगेटिव इमेजेस को जन्म दिया है, अगर जोर डालो तो वही दिमाग उन इमेजेस को पॉजिटिव कर देगा.
Imagine this, the lawyer is given further permission to spend a day in the jail cell with the killer.
तो मेरी जान ले सकते हो, मेरी इज्जत लूट सकते हो, यहाँ गवाही देने वाला कोई नहीं है.
A full moon night commences, she plays disco music and gets choked, but there is still no breakthrough. But you know what the twist is? They get to know that he has a mother who is mentally deranged because of a rape that happened when she was pregnant. So the logic is that Babbar as a fetus in the womb of the mother identified the 3 rapists.
रेप करने वालों की सूरतें उस बच्चे ने माँ के पेट से देखी थी.
But who is the 4th one? The lawyer tries to reenact the same scene of sexual assault in a theater to trigger that memory with dancers and everything. Yes, you're hearing this right. When there is still no breakthrough, she calls the mother as a witness and arranges the court to have the same atmosphere of the rape scene. Projection of a full moon, disco music, and voila, she identifies the 4th one. It's the bloody judge. Did you guys just get a minor headache because I'm recovering right now? Sorry I made you go through that whirlwind of emotions. I just had to. What a wow, right? Alave Kunta Paramalla. I tried, guys, even if I butchered that, but I tried. Aloo Aarjun, in my eyes, is one of the most entertaining actors. He has this on-screen charisma that is simply undeniable. Even more so, I'm obsessed with his dance moves. So that just makes his appearances in films even more enjoyable. Where there is praise and admiration on one end, I think it's important to critique the choices the actor makes also with respect to how romantic interests are showcased in some of his filmography. Alavai Kanta Paramalla was the biggest Telugu hit of 2020, and it's enjoyable, there's no doubt about it. But the way Bantu and Amu's romantic storyline is showcased is problematic to say the least, at least the initial courting process of it. This probably is done to cater to a certain section of the audience, but its social themes just propagate Eve teasing and, well, being a pervert with no shame. Bantu is obsessed with Amu's legs the moment he lays his eyes on her. There's an entire song that is dedicated to him staring at her legs. The gag doesn't stop throughout the film's running minutes, and it made me think what any rational woman's reaction would be if a man simply kept on staring at their body. The women can obviously let me know in the comments below what they felt about this running gag in the film. What's the necessity of it? Is it simply to titillate the audience, or this is an ongoing problem with commercial Telugu cinema that should be addressed? Burma. There is this misconception that people have that only Bollywood creates huge projects around star kids in order to launch them. The Tamil and Telugu industry is also famous for formulating the best canvas in order to launch very popular actors' children. Nagarjuna's son, Akhil Akineni's first film titled Akhil is notorious for the travesty that it became. Vikram's son, Dhruv Vikram, was also being launched, and individuals thought that an Arjun Reddy remake in Tamil would be the best launch for the actor. What we saw in theatres was a Tamil film titled Aditya Varma, but little did we know that the first version, which was shelved, directed by Bala, was titled Burma. It is actually available on YouTube, of course at a cost, both financially and our brain cells being put at risk. The producers were apparently so dissatisfied with the final cut of this film that they thought it would be best to go for an entire reshoot of the movie. I actually don't blame them because Burma is a train wreck in its entirety. The only thing going for this film is that it's the shortest Arjun Reddy remake you will ever see, so the torture ends pretty fast and the blatant misogyny and fat shaming is done away with. You've got everything from lighting an unborn child's foot to push it back into the womb, gymnastics being passed off as foreplay, the production value that seems cheaper than a YouTube skit, a generic background score that just seems like a rip-off bootleg version of the original, chemistry that seems to be as vibrant as the cast of Pyar Impossible, hammy performances of the supporting actors, and the best part of the original, the character of the grandmother simply missing. Let's just put the ghost of Arjun Reddy to rest. Let's get over it. The wasted talent of Ileana D'Cruz. You know, one of my favorite actors who I think is getting terribly wasted in commercial mindless projects is Ileana D'Cruz. This is an actor that I got introduced to because of Barfi, and I had only heard of her years of work primarily in the Telugu film industry. She brought a sensitivity and grace to the role of Shruti that made me think it is only going to be onwards and upwards from here for the actor. But it's been one forgetful project after the other, from Fata Poster Nikla Hero, Main Tera Hero, Pagalpanti, even roles that demanded performances from her were dampened due to the overall treatment of the film. This includes movies like Badshaho and Rustam. But when I took a deep dive into the role she portrayed in Telugu cinema in her initial career, it's sad but true that majority of it represented nothing but an objectification of her body. Most of the movies present such regressive social themes between the romantic interests that it will just make you cringe that in many ways it is still being propagated in storylines in 2021. I'm going to be talking about the Hindi dubbed versions. The movie Munna opposite Prabhas showcases this as one of their first interactions, and imagine falling in love with the same person.
यार पैदा हुई तब से ऐसी है या पैदा होने के बाद ऐसी है?
ये लड़के ना बहुत चालू हैं, जानबूझ के बदमाशी कर रहे हैं।
तुम्हारा सामने से बेटर और बैक सुपर है।
A horrible movie that takes inspiration from Namaste London showcases the hero constantly harassing the girl by measuring her physical attributes as a means of flirting.
अगर तुम हरी झंडी दो तो मैं तुम्हारी आंखों के टॉप फ्लोर से उतरकर तुम्हारे बेसमेंट में अपनी झंडी गाड़ सकता हूँ। ये भड़की मेरे होने वाली बच्चों की अम्मा दे दे मुझे एक चुम्मा।
The creators don't even stop in portraying young teenagers taking the opportunity to stare at the girl. Some of the scenes of the actor forcing himself on her or threatening violence if his advances are rejected are plain woeful. Of course, she falls in love because he beats up the bad guys. The hit jodi of Ravi Teja and Ileana was also quite popular, but if you see films that are dubbed in Hindi as Dadagiri, directed by Puri Jagannath, a creator who's regular on the MATLAB KUCH episodes, you will shriek at the sexual advances of the hero with the heroine.
तेरे को लगा मैं नींद में हाथ रख रहा हूँ? एडवांटेज ले रहा हूँ। तेरे फिकर ने मेरे जिगर में आग लगा दी। अब इसमें मेरा क्या दोष?
I just hope that the actor understands her potential and the fact that it is a slippery slope of featuring in such mindless storylines, because these movies that make a quick buck are easily forgotten. Her next project with Vidya Balan and Pratik Gandhi just makes me hopeful. Sanam Harjai. I've left the worst for last. I'm already giving you a trigger warning before I start speaking about this film because it is definitely going to make you uncomfortable. Just listen to the synopsis of this film and you'll get an idea of how terrible it is. Raj betrays Neelu by telling her that he is going to the US. He goes to New Zealand instead and meets Tina, who falls in love with him. He leaves her too, but both girls are pregnant and are unable to track him. A film that has performances like this. A lawyer who defends a rapist in court this way.
ये तारा एक बच्चलन बाजारू लड़की है, देखते ही पता चलता है.
The hero is so impressed with his skills that he hires him on the pretext that he may in the future do something heinous. Get ready for the most disgusting dialogue and back and forth between characters you can think of.
क्या आपने भी किसी का रेप किया है?
नो सर, अभी तक रेप नहीं हुआ, लेकिन एक लड़की है सर जिसका मैं दीवाना हूँ. अगर वो खुशी खुशी प्यार करने को राजी नहीं हुई तो फिर रेप तो होगा ही ना सर.
This is how the hero forces himself on the girl that he fancies.
इस तन्हाई में मुझे ज्यादा गुस्सा आ गया तो मैं तुम्हें रेप भी कर सकता हूँ. रेप?
Leave me! छोड़ो मुझे, you dirty man!
No, I am not a dirty man. I am a gentleman, a perfect gentleman.
Imagine, no matter how good the redemption arc, falling in love with a guy who approaches you like this. Who bankrolled this? Who thought this was a good idea? And why am I talking about this film? Life, what is and happening today is I don't know. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below whether you have some video ideas for our channel. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.